Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming to the Max and part 11 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Old World Blues Enclave Redux mod. So in the last episode, Khazar's Legion had declared war on us after our 2-year peace deal. We've shown incredibly initial success over here in the Mojave territories and old New Vegas and everything. The only place that they still own is this little corner where they're encircled. And my forces are pushing them and driving them back. We are moving a couple of units over here at these river crossings, trying to block those out. Up here, not as much success. Our units are still getting kind of into position, but we're going to start to knock Heaven's Gate out. We moved 20 divisions over here to Autobros to try to force the Legion back. And then we have our Ghoul airborne divisions marching forward, trying to push them back as well. Plus 2 more divisions cleaning out this pocket right here. Where I'm actually going to push these gentlemen. They're going to start pushing down, trying to liberate Ouroboros. And then I think that's good for right now. So we're going to start up. Also in the last episode, the Divide has appeared. Well, not really the Divide, but these are like these crazy monsters that have come out of the ground and attacked the nuclear silos. They lived underneath the nuclear silos, and we had just recruited the help of the raccoon people. Where is it at? The burrows, the old Slanters. We've asked the Slander Scout Corps to go down there and fight these horrific monsters that have come out of the ground. So, the Tunnelers. Other than that, we're going to start up. And hopefully, well, once we defeat Heaven's Gate, we can march our armies down here. Maybe link up with the Realm of Diana. Force down through Colorado while our main armies fight through Arizona here. So, without further ado...
Enclave here. This is Enclave main com.
Take Cotton Cove back. Alright, the Slanders reached the Divide. Well, right when we started talking about it. The first Slander arrived at the perimeter within hours, delivered by a vertibird. Their small size allowed several dozen to be delivered in just a single bird. While some were raw recruits, the vast bulk of them were veterans of the Enclave Wars and Raiders pacification campaigns. Receiving their briefing, the mutated raccoons got to work making their way towards the base. At the same time, the ground commander, accepting but skeptical of the Slander, had been working setting up a series of modified armored vehicles with floodlights to try to reach the breach. The Slander major thanked the ground commander before sending off with the rest of his troops. I trust them. They'll get the job done. I hope so, as much as they do. Thinking about friendly divisions. These air superiority blimps, these blimps that we were fighting are an absolute slog. Try to have everybody fighting over here in West Arizona. The doctrine of how we fight. The doctrine of tomorrow. It's decided that we're going to have to take America back the hard way, block by block, town by town, city by city, until Old Glory is flying high in the sky once more from sea to shining sea. Of course, how we're going to do it is a matter of debate. The Army has come forward with 3 doctrines of which to choose. Some more reserved proponents say we should adopt a defensive approach, allowing our enemies to throw themselves at impenetrable defenses and allow us to walk over them when all that is left is a pile of dead bodies. They take their methods from General Constantine Chase to the Alaskan Reclamation. Other more daring members wish to adopt a high-speed offensive maneuverability, striking deep into enemy territory and driving home the true nature of total war, pointed to General Sherman when he broke the back of the Confederacy in the Civil War. Lastly, others wish for a more measured approach, bringing the full might of America crushing down on our enemies in a slow, inevitable advance that will see all crushed underfoot, like MacArthur when he drove the Chinese across the Yalu River before detonating atomic bombs to remind them who they were messing with. What we choose will be our primary doctrine moving forward. Right on. have you guys keep fighting in the Mojave here.
Enclave here.
Let's see. My paratrooper divisions
Enclave main com.
are ready. Let's see. You. There we go. Someone did tell me to keep. Where am I at? I think we need to do every man's a car. Then we can't go to Starlight Express. We can do manual labor. Remember the automation riots when the corporation placed hardworking Americans with soulless robots. We will not repeat the mistake of the past. We will ensure that every robot in the workforce, there should be at least 3 non-robot workers on payroll. Or our pre-war answers find the answer to the labor shortages and disputes with automation. A robot can do work for a man 24/7 without need for rest, food, and other minor maintenance on engineer parts. Our factory output can triple, leaving more Americans join the armed forces or do whatever it is the common man does. Oh, we can do this one. Reunified states or granted. Let's keep going over here. Where is it at? Eminent domain. Not as worried about building stuff right now. Let's do motor pools, specialist training. Let's just do the American Juggernaut. Okay. Outdated equipment's being produced. Yeah, the special forces kits. And that's about it. Select you guys. Use a fat boy.
Enclave here.
Don't have enough command power. That's fair. Helios 1, good morning from Enclave Radio, bringing you news from Helios 1. As the sun rises over the solar plant, reflecting off the solar panels, one can see how much progress the president has brought. Garner the Brotherhood Knights stripping it for parts, so the NCR engineers stumbling in the dark. Enclave scientists work proudly to restore power to the waste, and the sun rises over a new day for America. Gain composites and 15 electricity. And then Helios sabotage. Upon securing Helios 1, a cadre of Enclave scientists descend upon the site, hoping to reactivate the ancient orbital weapon aboard the Archimedes energy weapon platform. Disabling the security system, much of the infrastructure for the weapon remained intact. However, the software and terminals meant to run the system were outright destroyed. By whom? The nitwit of a technician named Fantastic. The moron has nothing but a headache for the soldiers, mainly initially believing he was a saboteur because we didn't think anyone could be this stupid in the Mojave wasteland. Turns out, no, he's just an idiot. The amount of damage he's done to the uplink could take decades to fix, mostly because we must rewrite the code for the system to correctly uplink with the giant space ladder. He got by on a theoretical degree. So they found that man in the story, and they were like, "Do you have a degree in theoretical physics?" And he said, "Well, I theoretically have a degree." And they were like, "You're hired." So there you go. You only have to have a theoretic.
This is Enclave main com.
Enclave main com. Was another battle. We sunk 4 Kaiser light cruisers, 3 Gente de Sol, and 1 Tucson cruiser, light cruiser, 9 Kaiser destroyers, 6 Tucson destroyers, and 2 of the Gente de Sol. Economic resurgence in New Vegas. Let's do the Cyberdog. Production wise, switch you guys over to the automatic grenade launchers. Mutant versus Mutant. The Slanders had made contact with the Tunnelers. At first, the mutated humanoids didn't know what to make of the furry FEV raccoons. They observed the little fuzzy creatures with confusion before the Slanters struck. Operating in small unit tactics, the Slanders took down several within the base before the Tunnelers finally recognized them as a threat. While the Slanders took some casualties, a mix of their honed military tactics and old hunting tricks kept them relatively light. What more, the Tunnelers weren't even safe when they tried to dig underground, with the burrowing Slanders following them into their holes and striking them on their turf. Seismic sensors are picking up what could be only described as small localized explosions, likely the Slanders using grenades and other explosives to try to root these things out. Tenacious little beasts, aren't they? Awesome. I knew it was right to trust the Slanders. Naval Doctrine, Fair Packs, and we'll finish out the sortie effect. There we go. Done with our naval focus tree. We're done with our air focus tree. And our land. The only one we could do is like this one, but I think it takes away, so as of right now we're winning pretty handily. Probably make some marine armor. Okay, we might just start building some to have it in stockpile. There's a big golden encirclement.
Just dispatched a Verdi assault team to your location. This is Enclave main comm.
Looks like they're struggling to supply. Something happened during a resupply, reinforcement, and evacuation run. One of our pilots noted that the Slanders had captured several of the larger brutes and were apparently trying to ride the thing like a wild like a wild Brahmin at a rodeo. When asked for the reason for this insubordination, the Slander Major calmly replied that his troops were taking some initiative and tactics and applying the U.S. Army spirit of innovation. He explained that the tunnels are no different than any other mutated horror they had encountered in the past. If they can be tamed, they can be used. He pointed to how the Slanders had tamed the giant mole rats in the past as beasts of burden, and these tunnelers were just scaly humanoid versions of them. If they could tame at least a few, they might be able to create a sort of cavalry corps and handle the rest. The ground commander has reported that the plan was crazy, but crazy enough it might work. What? I absolutely love the Slanders.
Enclave here.
I'm so glad that we were able to like
Enclave here.
get them to join us and help us.
Main comm. Enclave here.
Khazar's Legion thought they were going to defeat me here. And now they've lost a huge amount of their divisions. Alright, the American Juggernaut. Might of a superpower, we have the industrial might, we have the military capacity, and there isn't a foe alive that can withstand the crushing, unrelenting, unstoppable force that is the American Army. MacArthur proved this in both the Pacific in World War II and in Korea when he drove the military across seemingly impossible odds to destroy our enemies. First, when he drove the Imperial Japanese military out of the Pacific, and when he drove the Communist Chinese Army back across their border, securing victory in Korea. While we won't replicate his victory with a nuclear send-off like it happened both times, we can still replicate the drive and force needed to make the Army an unforgiving juggernaut, slowly making its way across the wasteland as we bring the light of America back to the eastern shores. Tremble in Fear, Enclave Reconstruction Authority completes focus, America's Hammer. H&H Tools Company, to build back America, America needs tools. One of the best products on the market is the pre-war was H&H Tool Company. We were keen to open the company up and distribute as many drilled, nail guns, and auto axes as the company production lines, production lines could put out when we approached by Mr. House's Securitrons. Apparently, that is his company not only by the fact he bought it from his estranged half-brother, but by birthright. After a small legal battle and what almost erupted into a firefight between his Securitrons and Army troops, he relinquished ownership of the company only after making an odd request to have his half-brother's name redacted or erased entirely. We were too happy to oblige, and already requests are coming in from across the country. Is there anything this guy doesn't own? Adds H&H Tool Company, which grants trade tariffs plus 1%, infrastructure, and civilian factory construction speed plus 10%, and we get Securitrons. Roboco PDQ 88B Securitrons. Poseidon Energy, this one has a special place in the Enclave's heart. Poseidon Oil Rig was our home for so long, as was Navarro. It was Poseidon who sheltered us through the storm of the Great War, and where so many went down when it went up in nuclear flame. Likewise, the Gecko power plant was built and run by Poseidon Energy pre-war. The restart of Poseidon Energy as the nation's main supplier of power through various nuclear and solar energy plants made many in the Enclave accuse others of cutting onions nearby, as it was for us through the Great War and beyond. Poseidon forms the very bedrock of power within our nations and gives us power, along with the potential for a series of commercial refueling stations once we fix America's roads. Remember the rig? Wait, who's paying for the roads? Adds Poseidon Energy Company, which grants energy cell gain per energy plus 10%, trade tariffs plus 1%, and a civilian power good production speed plus 15%. Roboco. The robots of Roboco litter the waste and are often a hazard to many of the scavengers and caravan guards alike, and sending shutdown codes from a recognized source could save lives. Many more are in a state of disrepair and could be a boon to scrappers and salvagers if there was a central system to repair and refit. This was our idea anyway with Robco, a recognizable pre-war name that would not only be recognized, but it would also add legitimacy to our cause, until Mr. House sent us a message claiming ownership of the brand. After a series of legal debates and a stare down between Mr. House's Securitrons and the U.S. Army power armor, House relented its ownership, maintains a role in the company as an advisor and monetary consultant. Adds Robco, which grants trade tariffs plus 1%, support robots attack plus 10%, and defense plus 10%. Awesome. Do infantry school. Do that. Let's see. Scavenging with vehicles. I need to control Seattle and the Plains Runners. Okay. So we need to look north.
Enclave here. Shit, you can say that again.
Better Navy. Start researching better armor for said Navy. There was a big battle there. We sunk 3 of their battle cruisers, 5 destroyers, and 7 light cruisers. Awesome. Down here we sunk 6 more destroyers and 1 light cruiser. We've got some more destroyers over here, but that's fine.
Enclave here.
Get rid of that.
Enclave here.
You guys don't really have the strength to push. There's a couple of things. Ouroboros is attacking Eagle Rock again. Let's see, up north they're pushing. Not necessarily winning, but they're driving forward. I need to look
Enclave here.
and see what's going on up here. Okay. Now,
Enclave here.
your army secure through here.
Enclave here.
Your army's defeated them there. So we'll put you all... Probably not. Probably put you all right there. With an effort to drive across.
Enclave here.
Who else is over here?
Enclave here.
Yeah, with you, we'll put you all over here. Never a dull moment in the divide. The perimeter guards around the base were given over to quite a sight this morning. The Slander party we sent into the divide came out riding several of the tunnelers with crude riding gear and blinders fashioned around the tunnelers' eyes. They were lined up in formation with the major at the front holding a small guidon that the group had fashioned. Suffice to say that human comrades loved the sight, as did the ground commander, who was not only shy in singing the praises of the Slander In short, the crazy little mutants' plan worked, and they even performed a mock cavalry charge to show they know what they are doing. The press apparently picked up on this, and support for the Slander cavalry corps is growing among the populace. Rel Olsen has sent his best, sent all of his species beast tamer to the base, and they are expected to arrive by vertibird within the hour. It's too early. Where's my coffee? It's never too early. This is comedy gold.
Enclave main com. This is Enclave main com.
With you guys, I want you all to drive towards here.
Enclave here.
You all drive towards here.
Enclave here.
Who are you? Cody. I want you down here. Because my goal with you is to cut down.
Enclave here.
And then you all push north. Do that. The ride of the Slander. With reinforcement, the Slander's plan is simple. A dedicated thrust towards the breach site and down in the depths of the Tunneler's hive. From there, the Slanders will capture as many of the Tunnelers as possible, and their beast tamers will get to work breaking these monsters in. Resistance is expected, and the Tunnelers, the Slanders have broken in, have been armored up, and given additional blinders to hide the fact they are assaulting their own. Noses has also been plugged to prevent them from smelling it if these things give off pheromones. At dawn, the Slander's cavalry rode off towards the base as regular soldiers looked on and cheered. Vertibird gunships cover them overhead as the Slanders charged guide on out into the base. Transports carrying the beast tamers followed close behind, ready to deploy at the breach site. First resistance was met at halfway between the gate and the breach, and the Slander's new beast of burden proved instrumental in defeating their former species. Blind in sight and smell, when they were attacked by their former kin, they flew into a rage, slaughtering their unarmored, undomesticated selves. Their Slander riders assisted where they could and made rapid progress towards the breach. Arriving at the breach in a flying V formation, the Slanders drove into the breach. Beast tamers and an additional company of Slander scouts deployed and ready to assist. However, everything rests on the Major and his troops, as once they're underground will be unable to support. Godspeed, Slander. You go, you go, you go, you. There's the new carbines. I'm gonna research the new advanced power armor. This will take only a year and some change. Supping with the devil against all odds, the Enclave Reconstruction Authority forces have turned tides against Legion and marched to liberate the peoples held in bondage. But Santa Anna is no fool and knows he cannot face the power of the reunited States of America. He's offered to support the Legion's war effort, providing men and material to bolster the Legion forces, although mighty Kaiser has nothing but contempt for the robot army. Lannius' counsel that it's better to lose a neighbor's robot than our own soldier prevails. Once more, the general marches north to snuff out the cause of freedom. The Republic of Mexico joins Kaiser's Legion. We beat him once before, we'll do it again. And the Medal of Honor, 200 years in the making. In a ceremony honoring a true American hero today, the President has awarded the highly prestigious Medal of Honor to one of its most courageous soldiers, Corporal Audie Dobbs, a pre-war survivor found in the stasis in the Sierra Army Depot. Is credited with saving the town of Golden Valley from a dastardly Legion attack, saving countless American lives. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty in his role as a power-armored infantryman with forward elements of the U.S. Army, while engaged in armored combat against the forces of Kaiser's Legion, Corporal Audie Dobbs demonstrated extraordinary heroism in the face of grave danger. Corporal Dobbs discovered members of Kaiser's Legion attempting to detonate a dirty bomb within a parking garage, which would undoubtedly destroy the town of Golden Valley and the American forces therein. Corporal Dobbs single-handedly took on 5 Centurions, 3 Praetorian Guards, and numerous legionaries while awaiting backup, preventing the destruction of the town. By his selfless courage, extraordinary devotion above and beyond the call of duty, Corporal Dobbs reflects great credit upon himself, the nation, and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Army. Congratulations, Corporal Dobbs. It is my honor to award this to a true American hero." Good for him. Contact lost again. Send the rescue team.
Enclave here.
We found the expedition. see. Send them out with power armor. Maybe. I guess not yet.
Enclave here.
Oh, the 4 more robot divisions can go up north. And we can give... He has some R-bombers.
This is Enclave main com. Enclave here. Ah, that's a new one. Enclave here. Enclave here. This is Enclave main com.
Nothing to report. We hope they're okay. It's been several days and no word from the Slanders underground. Our seismic monitors are picking up activity, so we know they're alive down there. However, what's more interesting is the reaction of the rest of the country to the little mutants' actions in the Divide. The Slander, while protected under treaty as equal in the Enclave Reconstruction Authority, that doesn't mean the common citizens see them as equals. Many critics have questioned the purpose and the effectiveness of the Slander Scout Corps, with more hardline views laminating the arming of non-human mutants. The image of a tiny Slander fighting the tunnelers valiantly, as well as the cavalry charge against Hopeville, silenced them and invigorated a wave of public support for the little creatures. Pictures of the charge are front page of every paper, and the Burrows itself is in a patriotic uproar at the sight of their scouts' display of gallantry. Granite himself traveled to the Burrows and met again with Rel Olsen, personally thanking him for his species' contribution to the military, the nation, and the Enclave Reconstruction Authority people as a whole, of whom they stand as equals no more than ever. Yet, for all the fanfare, little word has come from the breach, and it is unknown if the Slanders are scattered and being slaughtered or advancing deeper into the hive. I'm sure they're doing fine, I hope. They're fine. They're fine. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they're not fine. They'll be fine. I have faith.
Enclave here. This is Enclave main com. Enclave here. Enclave here.
I destroyed these units here.
Enclave here.
Ooh, we received the fate of the Slander. We received word from the Slanders from the base. 2 messengers rode up to the perimeter this morning requesting additional reinforcement supplies, as well as radios to communicate with the surface. The lead messenger, a Slander lieutenant, reported that the tunnel beneath are large and expansive, and the Slanders are operating in unknown territory and don't know how large the tunnels are. They've established base camp in one of the largest nests, as well as basic aid station, but their supplies are running short. The ground commander sent the request up the chain, and supplies are on the way. Additionally, an entire battalion has been dispatched from the Burrows, many of whom being veterans of the scouts across the army. At the very least, we know our mutant troops are advancing underneath, which is a welcome word to what has become a national spectacle. Ha! I knew they'd be fine. Flagstaff, as of right now, is under threat by our troops. Somewhat.
Outstanding.
I don't know why.
Just dispatched a Verdi assault team to your location. This is Enclave main com.
It's like a continuous process that I have to keep dragging these troops out.
Enclave here. Enclave here.
Alright, you guys go here. Push out to like Fort Apache.
Enclave here.
You all go here. Get across the border. Across the river.
Enclave here.
And your troops need to build into the defensive line. Push out to like right here.
Oh, lovely. This is Enclave main comm.
There's another power armored division group. The only person we'll have to give is old Major General Green.
This is Enclave main comm.
Actually, with you guys, let's put them here. I'm gonna try to cut his forces off. Free military factories. Put more there. Put some more there. There we go. We can start building some Securitrons. I think that's about all I want to start building.
This is Enclave main comm. This is Enclave main comm.
I think these guys are all cut off anyway.
Enclave here.
Let's see. Your troops split up right here.
Enclave here.
Your paratroopers trying to think of where my paratroopers will be the most useful. We'll put them up here as well. See if we can drag it out. So them. Manage subjects. You guys need 15 minutes. Okay. So we can take Eagle Rock here soon. The battle rages on below. Seismic activity has slowed in the past few days. The Slanders have been giving status updates stating that they have traversed dozens of miles underneath the base, mapping out an extensive network of tunnels and nests. A recent development from one of our scout teams claimed they have stumbled onto a large nest complete with one of the largest tunnelers they have ever seen. The captain in charge of the platoon was forced to retreat given the resistance in numbers and has given a description of its size. We agree with their assessment that this thing is the Queen, though we don't know if it's the only one or one of many. The Major has reported that they are preparing to storm the nest alongside with the Beast Tamers with a plan to capture the thing alive. The operation is to commence in the evening. Wait, how large? Look at, like, in the photo, look how big that is compared to the little one. Those things were ripping like humans apart. Like they were toys. Infantry school. Let's get the robotic corps. The fall of Flagstaff. The city of Flagstaff, long the seat of Kaiser's absolute power, fell late last night to the Enclave Reconstruction Authority. Although Kaiser stayed to command the defense until the defeat was all but certain, even his military wisdom could not save the city, surrounded as it was by Enclave Reconstruction Authority, earlier pincer movements, and his infinite wisdom. Kaiser ordered a last stand, commanding his elite Praetorian Guard to fire on any units that attempted to desert. Ultimately, the order only served to delay the capture of the city at large by a day, although even now sporadic fighting continues between the invading forces and Praetorian Guard units hold up in buildings. Kaiser's palace also appears to still be holding out, although this might shortly change when Enclave Reconstruction Authority demolition teams get into position. How did the Legion have this many slaves?
This is Enclave main comm.
You all push. You all push. You push. You. Everybody push. Do stim packs. We can straight up annex Eagle Rock. Sweet.
Enclave here.
All of you are pretty horrible. So, thank you. but
Enclave here.
I'm just going to delete it. A lot of special forces. They had some canoes and some cutter hulls. They're not great. I'm going to actually just throw them in with my... scout fleet. Then you guys move into here. You're repairing in Northern Phoenix. Actually, construction wise, Paymaster's Landing to be completely built out. And we'll scroll all the way down at the bottom. Get that. And can't do anything there. Alright. Might be able to bring out, yeah, install some police forces. They broke our cipher again. The idea large administration has been moved. Okay.
Enclave here. This is Enclave main comm. Enclave here.
The radar is picking up something. Radar is picking up a fast-moving object inbound from Los Alamos, New Mexico. It's too small to be a plane further. It is moving at an insanely high rate of speed. It's impacting in California. Well, what is it? What? Nuclear detonation in California. Listen, somewhere around right here. Nuclear detonation in California. It was a nuclear artillery shell. It detonated just west of Ashton and east of Shady Sands. We don't know which one they were trying to hit, but either place would have been catastrophic. Either the death toll and destruction of Shady Sands, or possibly the destruction of the pre-war missile silos in Ashton and Hopeville. We managed to triangulate the origin of the shell right to where it was fired from Los Alamos. If anyone is capable of building a pre-war nuclear artillery cannon, it would be someone who knew what Los Alamos was and what they were doing. Enclave intelligence knew of a series of pre-war ghouls living there, but doubted that they were the same people who worked at the base, or that they were capable of creating a nuclear artillery cannon. How are we supposed to know they had a nuclear cannon? Gets event 5 minutes to doomsday. Intel, what the heck? We were very fortunate that the nuclear artillery didn't hit its target, whichever target it was. However, we won't be so lucky a second time. We need to respond and respond fast before Los Alamos can fix its targeting, and then we will really have a crisis on our hands. Airstrike it now. The strike at Los Alamos. The strike at Los Alamos using drop tanks. The Air Force pilots were operating at an extreme limit of their aircraft. All were volunteers that was confirmed would be a possible one-way suicide mission. Volunteers called from the top aces in the nation. They were given only 2 hours to prepare to understand the route and where their target was. Their mission was simple: strike the nuclear gun at Los Alamos, then make a mad dash towards American lines and land or ditch where possible. Screaming low across the Arizona wasteland into New Mexico, they approached the area where Los Alamos was located. Following the flight led, they all gunned their engines and took to the sky. One of the pilots identified the gun in the clearing, and the mission was on. All knew what was at stake as they dropped their bombs and fired their rockets. A few spotted the gun crew and others running for covers as explosions knocked out the gun. The job done, the mission complete. The pilots all turned and made for the American lines, checking their fuel to see how long they had. Hours later, back in the Enclave Reconstruction Authority, the president read over the report that only a few pilots had been recovered or found. A few planes had ditched in Legion territory, just shy of the front lines. President Granite hoped the American force would recover them. At least they find them crucified or worse. Regardless, the news of the airstrikes against Los Alamos gun as retaliation for the nuclear detonation in California was met with celebration. While many cheered and flags were waved for the revenge of those who died, others breathed a sigh of relief. With the destruction of the Los Alamos gun, the threat of all-out nuclear war grew distant once more, but for a brief moment, America grew closer to the Great War that it had 200 years earlier. Or had in 200 years. Game-based war support plus 15% and 10% stability. The Legion can't handle American freedom. Legion forces have continued attacking American fighting positions across the front line, only to find themselves climbing over a mountain of their own dead, just to face death at the hands of American soldiers armed with laser rifles and support by a mighty air force. Despite all the warnings given about the effectiveness of the Legion, Enclave Reconstruction Authority have held the line against the Red Tide of Arizona and pushing them back into their own lands. Forward into New Mexico, gain 5% stability. We're trying to, that's for sure. Watch out for spies.
Excellent. Excellent. Enclave here. Enclave here.
Let's try to destroy these guys here.
Enclave main com.
Oh, so they couldn't even attack across the river.
Enclave here.
Alright, well that makes sense. We'll get this group here under Daniel Carter. Aiming down.
Enclave here.
We'll get your power armor division right here. Aiming like that. Vehicles. I think it was vehicle logistics. You go. A new dawn over the divide this morning. Our troops were greeted by the victorious Slander riding out of the base, and with them was a surprising sight. With the bugle calls of revival, the victorious troops of the Slanders rode out in formation, much to the cheers of the troops on the perimeter. What's more, the crazy mutants did it, tied up between them, and with 3 beast tamers keeping it under control, is the largest tunneler we've ever seen. They also had several more of the creatures tied together in a mass herd. The Slander Major, a little worse for wear, rode up to and saluted the ground commander and presented to him the tunneler queen. The grounds commander reports a joint one with the Major has called to the operation a huge success, and the base has been more or less secured. Anyone else want to question if the Slanders was a bad idea? And that should get rid of the divide. Right? Let's see. Motorized logistics is what that says. Let's see. Oh yeah, the cyber dogs. Forgot about that. Come up here. Purebred mutt for the cyber dogs. Economic resurgence.
Enclave here. Excellent. Outstanding.
Hopeville restored. Regular forces moved in not long after, supported by gunships and the Slanders with their new tunnel mounts. The Slander Major has reported that several sweeps and kill teams are still operating underneath the base, looking for any remnant tunnelers that still lurk below. Preparations to move the tunneler queen off the burrows are being made, or off to the burrows is being made, as well as further taming the captured tunnelers. With the Slander Major opinion that with the queen's breeding ability, they could breed large numbers of the tunnelers for the new Slander cavalry corps. While unorthodox, it cannot be understated the effectiveness and speed at which the Slander operated in the operation. Recommendations for rewards and honors are already being passed up to the command for review. Despite initial reservations from generals and even the press for the use of the Slander corps in the operation, it cannot be understated the fact that they were instrumental in securing the base from the mutant threat. Good, good. Get me Rel Olsen. Oh, they broke my ciphers. Advanced power. The President and their mutants. Granite paid a visit to the Divide today to personally thank the Slanders for their action in the Divide. The Slander troops stood in formation for the President's pass and review. While many were wounded and their uniforms weren't in the best shape, all showed up to be in formation for the President and stood tall and proud, even if they did only come to Granite's knees. After conducting his review, Granite gave an impassioned speech to the formation to say how the Slanders had shown themselves as above equal to their humanoid counterparts in the military, and that their contribution in the past few days will not be forgotten, but remembered for years to come. Let no one ever speak ill of the Slander Scout Corps, or that Slander soldiers are not equal to that of human infantry. When your nation called upon you, you answered with a spirit of bravery befitting the American soldier, to face certain death only to laugh in its face. Let none forget that you met your abominable foe and not only defeated it, but took command of it as a human would a Brahmin. Today I stand before you, a man before giants, with your actions keeping with the finest traditions of the United States military. America will remember what the Slander Corps did here in the Divide. I thank you, your nation thanks you. May God bless America, and may God bless the Slanders. God bless the Slander, and God bless America. Birth of the tunnels. Operations are returned to normal at the base. Seismic activities haven't picked anything up beside the roaming patrols of the Slanders deep underground. The Ground Observation Command has given the all-clear, and non-combat personnel are beginning to return. By special presidential decree, Granite has awarded the former tunnels hive to be a second Slander borough, and already several families from the boroughs in Nevada have signed up to move to the Mojave. The tunnels, as they are now called, have become a mix of a new Slander city and American first military installation given over to the Slanders Corps, as well as a newly commissioned Slander Corps cavalry corps. The civilian population of the surrounding town and settlement have returned as well, welcoming the victorious Slander with open arms for their contribution in securing the Divide. We've even noticed an additional caravan traffic increase from the Slanders, increasing trade in the region as well. The former ground commander, now installation commander, has given the all clear, and that the base is now secured. We get the major as a unit leader. We take back the Divide and the birth of the Slander Cavalry Corps. The tactics and techniques that the Slanders have developed during their fight in the Divide have been solidified into a new doctrine. While the Slanders have provided invaluable as scouts, their small size often causes them to cover less ground than humans in a vehicle or even air recon. With their new mounts, the Slanders are able to cover terrain just as fast as any vehicle, and they can engage in combat against foes thanks to the ferocity of their mounts. While it will take some time to get their breeding program up, the Army is looking forward to deploying their new cavalry across the wasteland. Add Slander Cavalry Tech, Mode Xperia as Disnos. So, is that something new that I have to build? Yeah, Slander Cavalry equipment. they've got little cavalry Stetsons on. I love this game. That's like the most important thing for me to build right now. Let's see. We're good. We're building the advanced energy weapons, which is fine. The airfield at Eagle Rock. Let's click on that. It's 180 days. That's fine. Forces are pushing forward somewhat.
Enclave here.
Looks like they finally have broken
This is
across.
Enclave main com. This is Enclave main com.
Alright, hold on.
Outstanding.
You come here. I want you to get till right there.
This is Enclave main com.
And I want the robots to aim here. Go and go.
Enclave here. Enclave here. Enclave here.
There we go.
What was that? assault team to your location.
A Verdi assault team to my location. I forgot. Industry-wise, I can get better industry. Oh, we can use unique too. What? Oh. Construction speed. Let's do this one. I didn't realize that that up there was actually something. The whispers of hope. Despite our recent precarious position, those are those who have taken to our American dream. Whispers of a new dawn are spoken where no NCR loyalists are in the room. Stories of a president who can say or sway even his bitter enemy with words and his incorruptible soul. That's not what your government can do for you. 100 political power, 5% stability, or I need you for the U.S. Army. Nope. That one. Flagstaff is liberated. Vertebrates sweep overhead as Enclave soldiers trample the Legion banners. The city's slaves wait to learn whether they're found freedom or a new master, but the president can be proud to know that for the first time in 200 years, the stars and stripes fly over Arizona. 6 Semper Tyrannius, gain 5% stability. AFN news from the front, firefight in Phoenix. Dakota Canyon reported in the streets of Phoenix. Enclave Reconstruction Authority troops have pushed the Legion back to the outskirts of Phoenix. Wait, we have some breaking news. Reports are coming in of a slave rebellion in Phoenix. Apparently, Aurelius of Phoenix feared the Legion setback would trigger a slave rebellion and ordered the city slaves executed. Unfortunately for Aurelius, his brutality ended up triggering the rebellion itself. Talking about a self-fulfilling prophecy, Enclave Reconstruction Authority Air Force is planning to airdrop supplies and weapons to help the ex-slaves keep fighting the good fight, everyone. Gain 6% war support. North Phoenix and South Phoenix become cores. Oh, we're at 5 times speed. My apologies. I don't know if we've been on 5 times speed this whole time. I did not mean for that. We're fighting across the river here.
This is Enclave main comm.
I won't lie. Bring
Enclave here.
you all over here. I think you'll be useful over here. There's motor pools. We can do the robotic core. Counter resurgence. I want to get industrial support. War's been costly. We've lost 28,000. Our bros lost 5,000. And they've lost 148,000. So I would like to see our bros annexed and Diana annexed, but we'll wait on Diana. I don't know how this is considered an offensive war, but kudos. Oh yeah, power grids.
Enclave here. This is Enclave main comm.
Yeah, this is what I was wanting.
Enclave here.
I really need to shrink the size of these
This is
guys.
Enclave main comm.
down to like here. There's the robot core.
Enclave here. Enclave here. Enclave here. Enclave here.
The autopsy of the tunnelers. Given the vast amount of tunnelers recovered, we've been able to dissect a thing, and biologists have learned a few disturbing facts. First off, they were at least humans once, yet there are no signs of FEV that caused this biological mutation, meaning that this was straight radiation that mutated them. Biologists are baffled as there have been other instances of underground humans having slight mutations, but nothing this drastic. Bioluminescent scales, poisoning glands in their mouth and eyes adapted to low light environments. Whatever situation happened in the Divide during the Great War managed to regress humans there beyond primate and out of the mammal kingdom and into the realm of reptiles. Biologists are still wishing to study them more, especially as the Slanders learn to breed them to continue their cavalry corps. How is this even possible? Lose 1% stability. Oh no, I'm not a scientist, so... Someone who makes a lot more money than me needs to figure that out. Which I guess my character would be the president, so if a scientist is getting more than me right now, that might be an issue. Let's see, infantry-wise, let's get the mass drive, get the better guns. It's been a struggle fight up here. Logistics-wise, we need a bunch of support robots and CNC robots, demo equipment. We're good on infantry equipment, but let's see. Production-wise, demo equipment. What don't we need a lot of? We need pretty much everything we're building. There's a couple things down there that I guess I don't, but... let's get the MacArthur beliefs there. Looks like we'll be defeating these guys.
Enclave main com. Enclave here. I see.
Absolutely destroyed these guys. Two suns under threat. If it wasn't for the stupid United States of Mexico joining against us, we'd be doing a lot better. My humble opinion. Attack, attack, attack.
This is Enclave main com. Enclave here.
Oh, this is going to be huge. Massive defeat in Yuma.
Ah, that's a new one.
Craig Boone is wounded. There they go. I just want to see real quick how many that was. 6.2 thousand. Under a young Hispanic general.
This is Enclave main com.
You all get put here. Aim south.
Enclave here.
here. Go. Knocked out Tusian, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know why this is being such a challenge. Ready all the power grids. New citizen care package. Permanently adds 1 operative slot. Let's do the grain solicitations. Been some hard fighting up there in the Heaven's Gate. These gentlemen down here not having a good time either. I really need to there's attack. Let's do the reform the general staff. What I really need to do
This is Enclave main com.
is just reform all of these guys.
Enclave here.
So we'll put you all here. Push north to Heaven's Gate.
This is Enclave main com.
The rest of you fall under him. Push north like that. Go. Now, Ouroboros. Let me get that. Manage subjects. Start a lend lease. Here's 750 convoys. Here's, let's say, 1,000 heavy robots. And something random. Send you 150 of those. 2,500 of those. 2,000 of those. And 500 marine armor, which wasn't that much. I'd say that's about it. Oh yeah, and we can send about 3,000 support equipment. Yeah, you agreed to sign it. A lot of green, a little bit of red, a lot of green though. Bit of reconnaissance. Now that they've lost a lot of their support up here, they're not doing as well. Just keep building the convoys. Scavengers return in triumph. Makes my navy a little bit better. Power grids. Still has 0 war support. Traders from Hawaii, far to the west, past the hulking wrecks of oil rigs and minor military islands, lies the island of Hawaii. Once, according to a book we found at least, these islands were also part of American, home of the American Pacific Fleet. By 2077, the Pacific Fleet was a vast collection of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, destroyers, and missile boats. Most of the fleet was in port at the start of the Great War and was wrecked by the multitude of Chinese nuclear missiles that hit the port. But the tribes of Hawaii now make a living scrapping advanced components of the countless wrecks, trading for weapons and food with settlements up and down the west coast. This morning, a cluster of native traders from Hawaii arrived in our ports, offering a plethora of rare goods for a price. It's an opportunity we won't get for some time. Come tell us some more stories, buy some exotic goods for our people, or turn them away. Let's get the come tell us your war stories from your homeland. The Legion sent packing. AFN News. Legion forces have been thrown into disarray following a series of attacks by Army forces supported by the Air Force. Typical Legion columns, normally used to marching unopposed through the lands, have been forced to move at night to avoid being bombed to bits by patrolling American aircraft. Air Force commanders are hoping new night and thermal vision placed in vertibirds and attacked aircraft will further disrupt the Legion movement, scattering them like roaches. Army forces, meanwhile, continue to push farther east and have reported that some Legion units are starting to surrender, with more than one of their Centurions strung up from the telephone poles. Analysts say this is a sign that the Legion mythos is starting to break. Gain 5% stability. All of my aces are dead. Cast wings. The Anointed declared war on Heaven's Gate. Oh, really? Reformed General Staff. We can do Old Remnants officers. The old officers are set in their ways, but ones who have survived held out against the New California Republican Brotherhood, we'd be fools to ignore them. Or a new generation of officers have arisen who has been hiding throughout the wastelands. They have their own views of how to handle combat, and we'd be foolish to ignore them. Loyalty and devotion. There's so much stuff to do. Let's see. America is beset by enemies, foreign and domestic, the raiders, slavers, and tribals, ruffians who roam the race, preying on any and all, stealing, murdering, and last but not least, the hideous mutated supermutants that build their war like rotting maggots. Lawless terror, murder, they're all around us. I know, but not for long, sweet America, not for long. Or one of the Enclave theorists, a scholar of outmoded pre-war government, suggested that the United States government would be the best served by extending a helping hand to the settlements of the waste, offering memberships in the United States in exchange for aid and protection. It's worth a shot. Let's do Department of Education. Major businesses. Let's get... I don't know who we are. Ready all the power grids. Should be what we're mostly building right now. It is a slog fest up there, that's for sure. Actually would like, probably a little too late. What do we need? Power armor, really. Not good. Not good at all. Two Sun is about under threat. We're getting industrial support. The outside of Two Suns under threat. We found something else. We cleaned out most of the underground, and it seems the Brotherhood did a number on them too. Armories emptied, workshops destroyed, all in all, aside from the power armor. It seems this endeavor was only worth as much as creating a massive network of tunnels under the base. That was until we broke into the last room, which was nothing more than a fuel maintenance bay. Shifting through the wrecks, we found a long-dead Enclave soldier locked into a supply room. In their hands was the blueprints and schematics for the next generation of Vertibird, its gunship variant. While we managed to keep a few, most went east with Autumn, leaving us with only transport versions that were left behind. With a vertical takeoff and land dedicated gas gunship, our Frontline's forces would be unstoppable. We get technology VB-02 gunships. Production. Gunships. Start building those. Wherever that landed, it's fine. Power up the grids. Oh, there was a big naval fight. Well, it was a big 2 light cruisers, 3 destroyers. Robotics wise, no. Anti-air. We took their second capital. So now their new capital is where? Chihuahua. Two Suns about to fall. I had to guess.
Excellent!
Traders from Hawaii. Get some more base war support. Flight of the Seabird. Ever since we started putting Vertibird gunships in the air, the Navy has taken a key interest in modifying the VTOL for their purpose. After requisitioning a few from the Air Force, Navy technicians have put to work to adapt an additional tie-down sonar module and slots for additional heavy weaponry to deal with boats instead of infantry. The result is the VB-02C Seabird, which the Navy is hoping to push into service here soon. We can lower autonomy, Ouroboros. Yes. And we can straight out annex them. Perfect.
This is Enclave main com. Enclave here.
Yeah, you guys didn't have almost anything. Some common rifle stuff. Thank you, Ouroboros, for your territory. It's not worth a whole lot, but thank you anyways.
Enclave here.
Oh. More of their stuff. I know you're like, why do you need that many combos? I really don't. I just don't know what else to build. Alright. Well, with that, this episode's went a little bit long. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.